gorgeous people. This is Amber's DIY and other stuff. My name is Amber Meeks. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy you found my channel. I like to do fashion and craft DIYs and all kinds of other fun stuff. So if you like this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button and click that notification bell so you don't miss any time I upload a video. Okay guys, in today's video, I have 6 Halloween and fall gnome decor DIYs. The gnome thing is super popular. It always has been. So I thought that I would go ahead and try to do some fun, easy, affordable DIYs for you guys. So without further ado, let's jump into this thing. Okay guys, for this first DIY, I'm going to start with this witch hat that I got from the Dollar Tree. Then I have this 8-inch cake circle, but you guys could just cut a circle out of a cardboard box. And then I have these fake roses that are in Halloween colors. So to start, I'm going to go ahead and glue my cake circle to the witch hat here. So I'm just trying to find the right place to do that, like what looks the best. And when I figure that out, I just go ahead and drop a bunch of hot glue on the back of the hat and then plop it down onto that cake circle. So now that that's in place, I'm going to go ahead and start gluing my roses on. So I'm just going to go around the outer edge with the orange roses. I was trying to find the best pattern for the amount of roses that I had left here, and I thought that would be the best way to do this. So I'm just attaching the roses with hot glue, holding them into place until they're nice and secure. So I'm just going to continue going around the outer edge with the orange, and when I finish that, it looks like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and take the purple roses and go into the center part with the purple roses to fill this up so that it's completely full. Now that I have all the purple roses in place, I'm going to take this last small orange rose and I'm going to put it at the very top of the hat, kind of like a pom-pom type deal, only it's going to be a rose instead. It just needed a little something more up there, so I thought that rose would be the perfect thing. So now that I have all that in place, I'm going to take this wood piece here and I'm going to use that for the nose of the gnome. So I'm just going to play around here and decide where I think it's going to look best, and once I decide where I like it, I'm going to go ahead and add a ton of hot glue. Like, I go in the center where that hole is because I think that's just going to be a problem for me. So I just like totally drench that center, overflow it with hot glue, and then I plop that down into place. And after I do that, guess what guys? This DIY is done, and here it is. I think it's cute, but it's not exactly what I had in mind. I think it would have looked a lot better if I could have staggered the purple roses, but I just didn't have enough to do that. But overall, it's a cute, super easy DIY that you can do for just a couple dollars. So for this next Halloween gnome, I'm going to take these craft boas in this simply orange container, and those are going to be the main ingredients to make this next one. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the orange craft boa first, stick a little data glue down there, and plop it down, and I'm just going to wrap this around the container. So I do use glue every so often just to make sure that it stays in place. So I'm just adding a little bit of glue, plopping down the craft boa, glue, boa, so on and so forth. And that is going to be the process to complete the beard for this particular gnome. So once I get the orange one done, I'm going to go ahead and grab the black craft boa, and I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to just start where I finished off with that orange one. I'm going to add a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to just continue to go around until I have this thing covered on the bottom with all the craft boas. So after I finish with this black one, we're going to go ahead and jump into the orange one and do the exact same thing. So I'm going to tag it down until it's all into place, and then we're going to move on to adding a hat. Okay, so I have this material that I got from Joann Fabrics. It's super cute Halloween material that has bats on it. I have it folded in half here so that I have some on the bottom and some on the top. So now I'm going to take my little container here, and I'm going to decide how big this needs to be for me to make this hat. So I'm just kind of placing it on the fabric here, and I'm just guesstimating where I need to cut. I'm just eyeballing it, guys. There's no measuring here. You know how I hate to measure, but if you want a precise, great measurement, then you can go ahead and measure how much fabric you're going to need on each side of this. So now that I have that done, I'm gonna go ahead and smooth out my fabric, and then I notice that it's like not quite lined up, so I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that it's exactly the same size on both sides of the fabric. So obviously I'm just trimming off the excess that I have around the edges here. So now that I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and fold it in half, and then I'm gonna cut it at an angle. And guys, I struggled with this. I kept looking at it like, come on, I've made many hats before. Why am I having such a hard time with this hat? I don't know why, but like I literally guesstimated where this is going to need to go. Finally grabbed the scissors, drew a line, and just started cutting and hoping for the best here, guys. So after I did that, it hit me. when I undo it, I'm like, ta-da! I'm like, wait, no, it's the other one. Okay. Oh boy, I hope that's long enough. And then my bats are upside down. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take the lid off because we don't need the lid anyways. So I took the lid off and I'm going to use that for another DIY. And then the hat's going to fit perfectly. The only issue is that the bats are upside down, but I just roll with it, guys. Honestly, I was just like, you know what? I don't want to do that again. This one is going to fit perfectly. So we are just going to have upside down bats. It's going to add a nice little touch to it, right? So obviously I'm gluing it right sides together here because we're going to flip it right side out after we have it glued completely together so that it looks like we sewed those seams together. Even though they're not sewn together, we just glued them together. Because this is a decorative piece, we don't need to sew it. You can if you want to, but you don't need to. So now that I have all that glued into place, I'm going to flip it right side out here so that I will reveal my gorgeous upside down bat hat. I love it, guys. Oh boy. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and slap that over top of the container. And so far it's looking so good. Here's my little wood piece for the nose. I'm going to decide where I need that to be. I'm going to go ahead and take my hat off while I glue the wood piece into place so that I don't get any glue on the hat that I don't want on the hat. So I just went ahead, slapped all the glue on there. I'm going to hold that into place till the nose is secure. Then I'm going to put the hat back on top of the gnome and I'm just going to glue the hat on the sides only. I don't feel it's necessary to glue it all the way around. I feel it's just going to stay in place with just each side glued down, and I think that's going to be totally fine for it to stay nice and secure. And when I finished that, guys, here it is. Woo! All right, guys, I do think that this one is my favorite one of the day. I think it turned out so super cute, and I just wish I had a pom-pom to put at the top of the hat, and I probably add one at a later time, but other than that, this one turned out super cute and I'm very happy with it. Okay, for this last Halloween gnome, I'm going to use one of these crystal water cups because it's already in the shape of a cone, and then I'm going to use this Haylights black Halloween hay, and I'm just going to wrap the hay around the cup here. And I realized I had like way too much there. A little bit goes a very long way. So I'm just going to go ahead and wrap what I have here around there. And then I'm just going to glue that to the bottom of the cup just with some hot glue. Nothing crazy here. I'm just going to glue each side down first, and then I'm going to go in and glue the center down. So after I got that glued into place, I was like, oh, this is so wild and crazy. I'm going to go ahead and trim this down a little bit, guys, but then it still ends up being wild and crazy. So I just go with it. I mean, I'm so tired at this point. I'm like, all right, let's just roll with this and make this work. So I already did a hat that the same way that you saw me do the hat in the previous clip. So I'm slapping that hat on there. And for this particular one, I have a smaller wood piece because this is like a mini one. So I have a smaller wood piece to do the wood nose. It's very similar to the larger ones. I'm going to go ahead and slap that into place. And once that's done, yes, guys, this DIY is complete. And here it is. He's cute, but it's, I don't know. It looks like a bird's nest with a nose and a hat, doesn't it? I'm just saying. It looks okay. Definitely not my favorite of the day, but overall it's a cute idea and it's super easy to make. Okay, for this first gnome DIY, I have this mop head that I got from the Dollar Tree, and then I'm going to use this 2-liter pop container. So I did see someone else, her name is Shannon from the Cozy Christmas Cottage, use one of these mops to make a gnome, and I thought it was just darling, so I'm going to use her idea and put my own spin on it. So I have the 2-liter label taken off, and then I have the mop head here. So when I flip the inside of the mop head, it's flat right there, so it's not like I have any way for that to grab to the top of the 2-liter container. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the top off. So I'm going to go ahead and poke it with a X-acto knife, and then I'm just going to get it started. And I'm kind of off camera here, but all I'm doing is working my scissors in to cut it completely all the way around. Sorry, it's out of focus. I'm not really sure what I was doing here, but there, I cut the top of it off. Now the mop head will sit nice and flat on the top of the 2-liter. So obviously it's too long at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and measure where I need to cut there, poke it with the X-acto knife again, and then work my scissors in to cut the remaining part of the 2-liter off. And as you guys know, I use every single part in something, so I'll use that for something else. So once I put this on top, this is what it's looking like. Kind of Cousin It-ish. I don't know, it would be a cute Cousin It, wouldn't it? So now that I have all that done, I'm going to take some hot glue and I'm going to plop it down to the top of the 2-liter container. And it does melt it a little bit, but it's totally fine. I'm going to go ahead and plop that mop head on top of that and secure that into place. So this is is what it's looking like so far. Pretty awesome. Okay, so now I already did a hat, and here is the wood nose that I'm going to use for the gnome. I slapped the hat on, and guys, this isn't the best looking hat. I gotta say, I'm not really excited about the hat, but what I like about this is I can just put the hat on top of this one and change the hat out for other holidays, so this works out really well. And when it's done, this is what it looks like. And again, guys, I'm not thrilled with the hat, but once I change it out for Christmas, I think it's going to be super cute with a Santa hat on top of it. So I do like the fact that I can change out the hat and just keep this little gnome guy out for all the various different seasons throughout the year. Okay, for this next gnome DIY, I'm going to take this snowman that I got from the Family Dollar store last year at Christmas time. They'll probably have something similar again this year. And I'm just going to go ahead and take it completely apart. So I'm going to take the little rings out that are connecting everything together. And then I'm going to go ahead and take off all of that tinsel because we don't need any of that either. I do save it though, guys, because I will use it for other projects throughout the year. So here's me just taking off the tinsel. And it's actually really easy to do, but for some reason I was making it very hard here, but honestly it's really easy to take these things apart. Okay, so now that everything is apart, I'm just going to use the top part and the bottom part of the snowman. So I'm just going to put them together like this. I know you guys are looking at this like, okay, she's really lost her mind. And you know what? Maybe I have. But I think this is going to work out pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and zip tie those two pieces together. So I have my little zip ties over here. I'm just grabbing a zip tie and I'm going to zip tie those two pieces together just the way that I showed you I had them layered, because I think it looks really good for a gnome beard. So that's what we're going for here. So I'm going to go ahead and stick a couple more zip ties into place, and once I have all those done and everything's intact, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess with my scissors. Usually I like to use my little wire cutters for this, but these ones were really small, flimsy kind of zip ties, so the scissors work just fine to cut off the excess so that I can go ahead and move on to the next part. Okay, so now I have this Deco Mesh that I got from the Dollar Tree, and the best way to cut this stuff, guys, is to take a piece of cardboard and measure it in half the inches that you want it to be. I hope that makes sense. So let's say you want it to be 10 inches long, then go ahead and measure your cardboard at 5 inches. And then you're just gonna wrap the entire roll of Deco Mesh, because they don't put a ton on there at the Dollar Tree, so you can go ahead and wrap the entire roll all the way around the piece of cardboard. And then you're gonna grab a pair of scissors, and you're going to work your scissors into one side here, and you're going to just cut it off. That's it, guys. When I fold this out after I have everything cut off of there, this is what it looks like, guys. So super easy, quick way to cut your Deco Mesh. Now this naturally wants to roll into place, so I'm just going to roll them into these little bundles and attach them to the bottom part of our little snowman remnants. So I found the easiest way to do this was to take the Deco Mesh and pinch it down, and then take a pipe cleaner and just secure it right onto the little I don't know, gnome beard fixture, I guess we're calling this thing. I found that to be the easiest way, but you guys can do it however you need to, but just attach all of those to the bottom part of this display. So here it is what it looks like so far, and I'm going to go ahead and cut off the excess pipe cleaners. You don't have to do this part. You can just totally fold them in so that nobody really can see them, but I decided to cut them off. Okay, so now I have this sock where I attached some tulle to the bottom of that, and I can show you guys how I do this in another video, but I'm not going to show you in this one, but I'm going to use this for the hat. So I'm just going to plop this sock over top of what was the hat part for the snowman, but will now be the hat for this gnome. So now that I have the hat in place, I'm going to take this ribbon and I'm just going to tie it around the bottom part of the sock so that it looks like a finished hat and not like a sock that we put on there. But maybe it still looks like a sock. I don't know. Who cares? We're going to tie it just into a regular shoelace bow here, and then I'm just going to angle the ends of that bow, and this is done, guys. Here it is. I attached the nose in the center, and I think it's super cute. You can hang this up on your wall or, you know, on your door even. It's big enough for that. I think it turned out really cute, and it was a super easy, affordable DIY. So for this last fall gnome, I'm going to go ahead and make a cone with these paper towel rolls. So you guys have seen me do this many times. This time I'm only going to use 3 of them. And what you're going to do is cut them all in half, and then you're going to glue each of those halves into place. But you guys can totally use a piece of cardboard, a cereal box, anything would work here. It does not have to be paper towel rolls. That's just what I prefer to use. So now that I have all those in place, I'm going to roll it into the cone shape here, and then I'm going to secure everything into place with hot glue. So obviously I'm going to secure the top part, and then you're going to want to go ahead and go down to the other lower half here and secure those seams into place. So once you've got the seams totally secure, you're going to go ahead and cut off the excess so that you can have a nice straight like bottom. Mine won't be nice and straight, but it's going to sit straight, so whatever. So the easiest way I found to do this is just to cut the excess off and then kind of fold it down and see where you can line up the rest of the circle. Fits perfect. Let's move on. Okay, so now I have all these leaves that I got from Amazon, so I'm going to go ahead and take the leaves and I'm going to layer them all around the bottom part of the cone, and that's going to become the gnome beard. So I got the inspiration for this looking at one of my LTD commodities catalogs. They had a gnome that had fall leaves for the beard, and I thought it was just darling, but I did not want to pay 13 bucks for it, especially when I made this one for like under $2. I'm just saying. So here's what it looks like so far, and I felt like it wasn't fluffy enough, so I just continued to layer leaves onto this one until I'm happy with the look of it. So just keep layering your leaves up. You can get these very inexpensive at Amazon, Dollar Tree, Walmart, all kinds of places. So they should be really easy for you to find. So this is what it's looking like so far, and I already did a hat out of like some sweater kind of material, and it's kind of see-through, but I'm still okay with it. So I slapped my hat on there, and I wanted to do like a slouchy looking hat with this one, so I just kind of form it on there as best as I possibly can. Then I'm going to go ahead and slap the nose in the center just like I did with all of the other ones. And when I'm done with that, guys, this one is finished, and here he is. I think this is my favorite fall gnome out of all the ones that I did. I think he turned out super cute, and it was very easy and extremely affordable. All right, guys, let's go ahead and jump into my final thoughts. Okay, guys, so these gnome DIYs did not turn out exactly the way that I saw them on my head, but they're still super cute, super fun, and affordable ways that you can decorate for the fall and Halloween season. So this will be my last fall/Halloween crafting DIY video. Going forward, I'm going to be jumping into Christmas. I hope that's not too early for you guys, but if it is, just come on back when you're ready to start crafting for Christmas. But beginning next week, I'm going to start on all of my Christmas DIYs, and I hope that you guys will join me for that, because I have a lot of super fun ideas that are affordable, easy, and so fun to make. So that's all I got for you guys in this video, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye! Okay, guys, so I lost my train of thought. All right, try it again. And they're still very affordable, easy DIYs that you can do for the holiday season. I will have more, no, I'm not going to have any more fall or Halloween coming up. Boop. Try it again. Okay, guys, so as always, my DIYs did not, Try it again. Okay, guys, so as always, these gnome DIYs did not turn out exactly as the way I saw them in my head. Does that make sense? Like the way? Okay, try it again. I am fall/Halloween DIY for the season. Next week, beginning next week, I'm going to be jumping into, why do I keep stumbling? It was good until then. It was so good until then, and then I messed it up. Okay, try it again.